Welcome back to Ask Allison, y'all. Here is today's question. I want to create more content online, especially on social, but I get blocked. It's partly not knowing what to write, I'm blocked, and partly unsure what it will feel like to be seen. Any advice? So first, I would like to thank TherapyNotes for sponsoring Ask Allison. They are a comprehensive practice management system. It keeps everything in one place: your notes, your calendar, insurance and billing, your practice paperwork, your video conferencing. You can have a totally paperless office all under one system. It costs less than one session per month and prevents that documentation anxiety so many of us get. And it's not just me, it is the highest rated EHR on Trustpilot. So if you've been dragging your feet or you're unhappy with your current EHR, check out TherapyNotes. You can get 2 months for free if you use the promo code ABUNDANT at therapynotes.com. All right, I have so much advice about this. So first, let's make sure you actually want to use social as a marketing strategy. Sometimes people get blocked because they don't really want to be seen in that way. And they don't really want to do social, but they feel like they have to. And sometimes they get blocked because it's new and they need to ease into it or bring some playfulness to it. So if it's the former, know that you don't need social to be successful. You can absolutely ditch it, no problem. If it's the latter, let's dig in. First, give yourself permission to not get started on social until you have a social strategy. That sounds fancier than it is. We'll cover it. You can throw some stuff out on social without a strategy if you want, but it's unlikely to convert anyone into a client. We have an entire module on social media in the Abundance Party, and it's something that we do a lot of one-on-one work with for people in the inner circle. It's more than a few minutes on Ask Allison can answer, but I'm going to give you the highlights, and then you can join us in the Abundance Party or the inner circle if you want more. So the most important rule of content creation is that your ideal client actually have to care about what you're creating, right? The second most important rule is to be consistent. You also need to know what each platform values in order to make the most of it. Unless you have staff to help, I strongly suggest going really hard on one platform, the one that you like the most, that your ideal clients are also on. If you do that really well, rather than a few different platforms where you just do kind of an okay job, you're going to get a lot more traction. So this speaks to the need for an ideal client, right? If you don't already have a niche and an ideal client, it's probably why coming up with content is really hard. Like if I worked with all business owners, from boutique owners to widget makers, it'd be a lot harder to know what to write or record to really speak to them. But because I niche to therapists in private practice or therapists wanting private practice, I literally never fear running out of content ideas because I know the struggle so well. And more importantly, I know the way out of the struggle. So if you're having a hard time coming up with content ideas, make sure you have a really solid niche, and we can help you with that if you need it. The niche is going to lead you to all your content ideas. Today's free workshop helps you come up with 50 content ideas in 30 minutes, and I'll link to that. A content strategy is basically what you post when. It takes some thinking through to make sure it appeals to your ideal client. It also requires that you understand the platform you're on, as I mentioned before. So for instance, Instagram decided this summer they want videos, not pictures, right? So they're going to prioritize things like Reels. So give Instagram a bit of what they want so that the algorithm works for you. Don't look at the algorithm as something that's against you. And you do not need a ton of followers. I repeat, you do not need a ton of followers. You just need to provide quality content and to constantly let people know that they can get in touch with you. I have worked with therapists with tens of thousands of followers on social who weren't getting clients from it until we worked through how to market while also providing great content. And I worked with therapists with a few hundred followers on social who were full thanks to those efforts. So don't let those vanity metrics mess with your head. Focus on creating clear content that your clients care about. Make sure your strategy is consistent and it includes rotating themes so that your content creation is easier. And look for inspiration outside of your colleagues and clients. Every weekday morning, I hop on Instagram. I create a reel based on some audio that I like. It's rarely therapy-related audio, but it's easy to relate most audio to what we do. And then I hop on TikTok and I do the same. And it takes 15 minutes at most to do both total. Now, as for being seen, you may be expecting it to be more uncomfortable than it is. So few people are actually going to see your initial attempts to put yourself out there, which is actually great. You're going to feel like you're naked in front of judgmental strangers, but you're not. The more content you create, the easier it's going to be to hit publish. You're unlikely to get haters early on because you're probably going to play it relatively safe with your content. We tend to put out our more controversial ideas after we get a bit more comfortable. And if you do get haters, check out an Ask Allison I did from this summer about how to handle that. It's going to hurt, but it doesn't have to last that hurt. The most common experience is that you're going to fret over being seen, and then you're going to feel disappointed that you aren't being seen enough to merit new clients as soon as you'd hoped. You're in good company. That's most of us. It's really fine. Lastly, give it some time. Don't expect potential clients to reach out within a week or even a month. Know that people want to get to know you a bit more, and they're going to revisit your content. And that's why consistency is so important. Like I said, we dive much deeper into this in the Abundance Party and the Inner Circle. So join us if you want some step-by-step support in building your practice. I will link to those. If you have questions for Ask Allison, please DM me on Instagram where I'm abundance_practice_building.